seventh Hermetic principle is gender, and gender is about harnessing the dual forces of creation. Occultists use the principle to manifest the things they want in reality by impregnating their subconscious minds with thoughts and ideas that help manifest more desirable future realities. It may seem like a joke, but it could be the perspective you need to take your mind to higher levels. The principle of gender is deceptively simple, and it reads as follows. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Initially, I thought this was about the polarity of two genders, but it's actually about the union of genders that cause new things to manifest, making it a pretty awesome thing to meditate on. But before we jump too far ahead, let me ask you, what are you really? If we think of you as a cluster of cells, each of those cells being cells that originated from a single cell that replicated itself after it had formed from the merging of two other cells that each contained their own unique instructions from their own initial set of cell clusters that decided to semi-randomly take some and leave some of its old data to create its new existing data set. So that would mean that you are a lot of things going on all at once, and that you and me are the same thing, just different data sets that have emerged from the same original self-modifying code that decided to use the principle of gender to create new possible adaptive forms of itself. So in short, nature, being us, seems to enjoy staying in binary forms when it comes to code exchange, because it's a powerful way to generate new, fitter versions of itself. Gender, generate. So can we use the principle to generate new, fitter ideas, which generate new, fitter versions of reality? Well, Carl Jung thought we could. Carl Jung, founder of analytical psychology, believed through the introspection of his own mind and analyzing his patients that each and every one of us had minds polarized in many different psychic structures, struggling for dominance within the conscious and subconscious. Two of these structures being the feminine and masculine parts of our minds, the anima and the animus. The term anima is the Latin word for soul or spirit, and animus means mind or rational soul in Latin. Jung chose these terms to represent the unconscious archetypical qualities that he observed in individuals, believing that both men and women possess elements of the opposite gender within their psyche. Jung's ideas about anima and animus emerged from his extensive work with dreams, myths, and cross-cultural studies, as well as his clinical observations of patients. He found that individuals often projected qualities onto others that they were not consciously aware of possessing themselves. Jung believed that integrating these unconscious aspects was crucial for psychological wholeness and personal development. As the principle states, gender manifests in all planes. Wherever there is gender, there is generation. And because our minds are gendered, containing both masculine and feminine components, they generate. Occultists tend to view the subconscious mind as feminine and conscious mind as masculine, which means the conscious mind generates thoughts that seed into the subconscious mind, which in turn generates new thoughts in the conscious mind that are the fruit of previously planted seeds or thoughts. But this is not a self-contained system. You and I are parts of the whole system that is our true identity. So the thoughts we generate have influence over our behaviors, which have influence of the happenings of physical reality, which again have influence over our minds. But this can't be proven, right? Well, yes, it can be proven. Practices like Neurolinguistic Programming, Hypnosis, and phenomena like the placebo effect have been proven to produce results so remarkable that they are tested as control groups for new medical treatments, and sometimes placebo outperforms real medication. Some studies have suggested that the placebo effect alone can account for anywhere from 20% to 80% of the observed treatment effects in certain conditions, such as pain, depression, and anxiety. So how do we generate the things that we want? NLP, or Neurolinguistic Programming, is a psychological approach that focuses on understanding and modeling patterns of behavior, language, and thought to achieve specific goals. It was developed in 1970s by Richard Bandler, a computer scientist and Gestalt therapist, and John Grinder, a linguist and professor of linguistics. NLP techniques are diverse and can be applied in various contexts, including therapy, coaching, education, business, and personal development. These techniques do work, and occultists have been using NLP rituals far before it became cool, and here are a few examples of these rituals and how anyone can use them. Anchoring. Associating a specific stimulus, such as a touch or a word, with a particular emotional state, and then using that stimulus to trigger the desired state in the future. Example: before giving a presentation, you repeatedly touch your thumb and forefinger together while feeling confident and calm. Then, during the presentation, you touch your thumb and forefinger together to trigger these feelings of confidence and calmness again. Reframing. Changing the way a person perceives a situation by offering alternative perspectives or interpretations. Example: if someone is feeling overwhelmed by a challenge at work, you reframe the situation by emphasizing the potential for growth and development that comes from overcoming obstacles. Meta-modeling. Asking specific questions to clarify and challenge limiting beliefs or assumptions. Example: during a therapy session, you use meta-modeling to challenge a client's self-limiting belief by asking specific questions like, what evidence do you have that supports this belief? Or, how does this belief serve you? Milton model. Using vague language patterns to induce trance states or promote unconscious change. Example: during a hypnotherapy session, you use vague language patterns such as, you may begin to feel a sense of relaxation spreading throughout your body. Mirroring and matching. Building rapport by subtly matching the other person's body language, voice tone, and language patterns. Example: during a negotiation, you subtly match the other party's body language and speech patterns to build rapport and establish a sense of connection. If I were going to consolidate this principle of gender neatly so that everyone listening could harness its power to create awesome changes in their lives, I'd say it's simply about consciously choosing to repeat specific thoughts or desires until you perceive a change, and that change looks like new related thoughts happening on their own. Our minds are systems that can be programmed, and the subconscious mind is always listening to the conscious passing thoughts. Think of it this way: if nothing was listening to your passive thoughts, you wouldn't hear them in your head. And with this, we conclude our series on the 7 Hermetic Principles, and I sincerely hope this chain of videos has helped all who have listened to see their own existence in a new, more powerful way. This is Nick Newman with the Conscienticon, and I thank you all for being here with us as we continue to share practical, spiritual, occult wisdom.